Hello, welcome to Meet the Candidate. We have in the studio today Mildred A. Council, and we are excited about Mildred and her candidacy today. And we're going to be learning a lot of things about Mildred. Mildred, just welcome the people here and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I am Mildred Atkinson, Council. I
Yes.
am a Pitt County native. I grew up here in this county
Yes.
and I worked here. Uh, well, let me back up. I grew up in the county. I attended school here
Yes.
in the Pitt County schools, received my education from grades first at that time through 12th. And then I went away to college to Shaw University in Raleigh and then on to University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee, and got my master's degree in social work. After that, I got married, had my family here, raised them here. They also attended the Pitt County School. So I am a homegrown, local person that wanted to do something to come back to my community and work after finishing college, and I did that.
Well, I know Mildred, and when I think about you, Mildred, I think about so many things. And when I was thinking about your name, I was thinking about what it meant to me. Okay, when I think about Mildred, I think about you are very meaningful. You are a movement. When I see you, you're always on the go, doing something to help people. You're motivated, and you're a motivator. You help to move and shake things. And when I think about the I in your name, Mildred, I said, you are it. You are in it. If it's a it to be, you are in it. And I'm excited about that because you not only just, you're it, but you can innovate things and cause things to happen. You're very intelligent. You're an initiator, and you're very important to us. Also, when I think about the L in Mildred, I think about the love that you have for the people here in the community. I think about how lovely you are. Even though you have a love, you are also lovely and you're loving and you're lively. You know, I've never known a time when Mildred Council wasn't doing something that she had energy and strength. And I think the older you get, the better you get with this. So I think about long lasting. You have been a general, a trooper. So if you're listening today, we're talking about Mildred Atkinson Council for North Carolina House 8. And so I'm just describing the Mildred that I know, and I'll let you talk about the Mildred that you know. And when I think about the D in your name, I think about how darling you are. You are so darling, delightful. I don't care what you're doing. But also, I think about how dedicated you are. And one thing I could say, you are definite. If you ever make up your mind to do something, to take on a project, we can definitely depend on you. But finally, in that D, I think about dynamic. You are dynamic. You explode. You are explosive. And the R in your name, always ready for a challenge, ready to overcome. You have kind of right standing about yourself. You are right for this job. You are right candidate because you are relative. You relate to people. You know how to, to relate to people. Is this the Mildred that you know?
I tell you, I'm listening. I'm
And,
amazed.
and I'm also thinking about the E in your name, Mildred. You are an encourager. You encourage me, you encourage others, you encourage me to go back to school, get my degree. You help walk me through that process. And I think about you also being endless. You just go like the energizing bunny. You go on and on and on. So you are endless, enduring, but also you're like energy. You are a burst of energy. So it's just awesome to know you. And then finally the D, you are just dynamic and you dominate. You have dominion. You establish a place, a position. So I'm definitely on board with Mildred A. Council. Now, did I do good with your name?
I tell you, you just
So,
floored me. And
okay.
bless you. That's all I can
Well,
say.
this is what I see in the Mildred that I know,
Well,
and I've been watching you. I've been watching the fruit of your labor, and I think you are awesome. I think the platform that you give support to. Let's talk about some of the things now that we know who you are, who I think you are.
well, thank you,
We'll let
Lola.
you talk to us about the platform that you're supporting.
Well, I have a platform that is supported by the citizen. I engaged them in coming up with a platform they felt that I would best suit, And so we came up with 6 major platform issues,
Okay.
and they are K-12
Okay.
through higher education opportunities. That means starting with that child in kindergarten, going through high school, community college, or the 4-year college on into graduate and postgraduate studies.
Okay.
That's what my constituents have said to me that, and they already know I'm into public education. Currently, I
Yes.
serve on the Pitt County School Board as its chair. I've been there for 5 and almost half years now. When I end my term in December, it will be 6 full years. And some people have asked me, why are you leaving public education? I'm not leaving public education, but if I can get to Raleigh with the support of the citizens of this district, then I can do even more, I feel, being at the legislative level, because that's where our laws are made and they come to the local level.
Right.
And as I sit right now on the Pitt County Board of Education, we see so many things in education being dismantled.
Yes.
And I have a real problem with that. So I said, well, if I can just get there, just maybe I can do more than I'm doing now at the state level of not dismantling so many things in public education, and also be able to be more helpful at the community college level, 4-year college, and the graduate school level, because education is so important. And without a great educated society, where will we be today? And public education gives everyone that opportunity to be successful. And so I support public education. That's one of my top priorities as well. And then we talk about school and community safety. Well, you know,
Yes.
at the moment, the school safety is one of the most hot topics across this nation.
Yes.
And we are very concerned about it with all the school shootings and all those kinds of things that's happening all over our country. We are working very diligently here in Pitt County. We have partnered with our sheriff department, our police department, our county commissioners, and we are working together with our own staff to make sure that all of our children have a safe environment in which to learn in.
Okay. So what is do you have any answers to the problems that we're having right now in terms of what do you see? Do you see more gun control in the schools in terms do you think the teachers should be have the armed with the guns?
Absolutely
what is your
not.
stand on
They
that?
need to be armed with the learning tools to teach, using the technologies and all the things that they have traditionally done. Our teachers need to be teaching. We have criminal justice personnel in place to protect and serve. And so this is why we have our resource officers in our schools today. In the county, it's called the ones that work with the sheriff department. In the city, it's the police department. So these young men and women have been trained to protect and serve. So those are the people that should be doing that part of the work, not the teachers. They're there to teach and to educate our children.
Okay, great. And so what about environmental and social justice?
Okay, environmental and social justice, that's a real hot issue as well. We want to make sure that our waters are safe, our food supplies, all those things are safe. That's part of our environment, and that we have a environment that we can feel safe in at every level. And then in terms of the justice part of it, the environmental and social justice, well, they are sort of tied together. But when we think of the environment, we're thinking about our quality of life as it relates to Mother Earth kinds of things. And then in terms of social justice, the way we treat one another. And so we definitely want to make sure our justice systems, environmentally and social, are in order so that everyone will have a great quality of life in our entire state of North Carolina and in the nation, of course. And then health care. is very important. And I've been very concerned about the current legislation that did not allow Medicaid expansion in our state. That was just a disaster, in my opinion, because health is very key. You know, without good health, we can't function. And we want to make sure everyone have access to quality health care. And that was an issue that I toiled with. I have lobbied against it not being in our state. I've talked to the current legislators that we have and told them how I felt. I've told them privately and publicly that it's just amazing for them not to support our health care system, to let this money, that Medicaid expansion was not only just about having people healthy, but it also was an economic development piece, all the job opportunities that it could have brought to our state that would have helped everyone, and to increase our income, to increase our tax base would just been awesome. But it did not happen, and so we're concerned about that. That's one of the things that constituents have said to me. We got to fight to make sure that everyone have access to quality health care.
Yeah. You know, I'm looking around in Greenville today as I left the hospital today, seeing all the new buildings that are going up, you know, and if we can invest in the buildings, we certainly can be careful about investing in the people.
Exactly.
You know? So Mildred, agriculture concerns and opportunities. So let's talk about that.
Okay, well, you know, I grew up as a rural country girl. I grew up on the farm. I did the green tobacco, the cucumbers, everything that was on a farm back then, I did it, and I worked, made money. Up through high school, I made $5 a day doing green tobacco.
A lot of money.
A lot of money. And actually, I was making the same amount my mother was. And so I can relate to having been a rural country girl, as they say. And I grew up really back in the woods. I mean, that's where I grew up. And I appreciate having had that experience, because when I got an opportunity to be a part of the city life, I was like, wow, what a difference. And so after I left home to go on to college and then on to graduate school, I said, wow, what a way to go, you know. And so, but I still never forgot from whence I have come. So I wanted to come back to my community after I completed my graduate education to serve. And when I got back here, I met some most dynamic people in our community that was doing some remarkable things. And so they got me involved and they trained me how to serve my community. It was the D.D. Garretts, the Willie Mae Connors, the Mr. What's his name? Mr. Mitchell, not Mitchell, the Benny Boy Roundtrees. All these folks were just working very hard just to fight injustices at that time in our community, because at that time we had very few, if any, African American on our board. So they fought for that. They sued. And when they finished training me, they said, now you're going to run for city council and you're going to run for the Board of Education. So they were telling us what they wanted us to do. So we felt prepared, and we knew that they had been in a struggle throughout the civil rights era and all of that. So I could relate, and I was just so happy to be a part of a community that wanted to make things better for the people in this community. And so I served 22 years on the Greenville City Council, and now I'm into my 6th year on the school board. So 28 years of public elected experience has just been phenomenal. And I have truly enjoyed serving my community. And I'm very passionate about it.
I know you are. I see it, and you know, your fruit of your labor is very obvious.
And let me say a little bit more about agriculture too. Well, some of the opportunities in agriculture. Well, agriculture is I can't remember, is several billion-dollar industry in our state. And so with that, every year I have partnered with the North Carolina Farm Bureau, sending young people to North Carolina A&T State University to learn about the various careers in agriculture. And so it is an awesome career path. And in our schools, we have the tech careers and all of that, but agriculture, just to give you some examples of things that you can make a great life in, is agribusiness managers, agriculture engineers, economists, physiologists, biometicians, Christmas tree growers, climatologists, college professor, land use planners, irrigation engineers, reproductive physiologists, rural development specialists. So the list just goes on and on. I have a full sheet. And what happens when these young people attend North Carolina A&T State University during the summer for a week, all expense paid for by Farm Bureau, they learn about these careers. And so many of them have chosen to go that path, and some have even received the USDA scholarship. And I'm a 4-H leader, by the way, too. I've done that for 20 years in this community. So the USDA scholarship is an awesome scholarship. And I've had 2 of my 4-H's to get that scholarship, which pays tuition, room, board, books, give you a laptop computer. You become a federal employee as a freshman in college. And so I've had 2 students to go through that program, getting that scholarship, and they both graduated from North Carolina A&T State University, and one of them got his PhD from Florida, from a University of Florida. And so we know agriculture has some awesome careers, so that's when we say those opportunities it's like one of those best kept secrets. So we try to share that. And every year, and I have students going this year too, in 2018. They have 40 slots at A&T State University. They also have them at NC State too, but I'm recruiting for NC A&T State University. And they call me the IFOL Angel. It's the Institute for Future Agricultural Leaders. And I recruit every year with all our schools here in Pitt County Schools, as well as schools across the state, because I want children to be exposed to those awesome careers in the field of agriculture.
That's awesome. And you know, so if a person wanted to get up with you, how would they contact you, Mildred?
Okay, they
look
can
at that camera.
Oh yes.
Just to let us know.
Yeah, they can call me at 252-757-1037. That's my home number, as well as I do have a cell too. And so, and right now, if they are students, they can also call our central office, and they can reach me that way. And that number is 830-4200.
So we want to contact Mildred if we're interested in that program. That's an awesome program.
It is awesome, and they will be going up this year. And matter of fact, the early college at Pitt Community, I already have 4 applicants. I've already submitted the applications, and so other schools in Pitt County, we want you to make sure we have some students from every high school in Pitt County, as I've done just about every year. And those students learn so much, and you can go on the the North Carolina Farm Bureau's website and look up NCA&T IFO. It's called the Institute for Future Agricultural Leaders. And you can see the students that have attended in the previous years, and they will be leaving the Sunday after our high school graduation. I think that's the 19th, I believe. But check that out on the website.
Great. Wow. So you've already given us a lot of reasons. I was going to ask the question, if you're just joining us, we are here, meet the candidate. And this candidate is Mildred Atkinson, counsel for North Carolina House 8. And we're just learning a lot of good information about some of the things that platforms that the community is giving Mildred that she's supporting. So Mildred, kind of look at the camera and tell people why we should vote for you.
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, I am experienced. 28 years of public elected experience. Also, I have lived here. I have also done a lot of work when I was on the Greenville City Council, and I'll just list for you some of the things that I accomplished when I was working there. I have it on the back of my card. In terms of economic development, the Greenville Convention Center. revitalization of West Greenville and some of the businesses there, minority women business development. Also, the Nathaniel Village neighborhood. We founded the Shaw University site here in Greenville, and it was 20 years old last year, making sure that we had another option in higher education. The Dollar General in Belvoir was one of my initiatives, and we lobbied to bring the North Carolina legal municipalities to Greenville in 2009. And also, I have worked with 4-H, youth development, the Greenville Youth Council that we have right now. That was one of my things that I brought back when I was a part of the Greenville City Council. It was in 2005, and it still does exist today. And matter of fact, I just recommended some students to be honored this year that in our community that has been exposed to the Youth Council. And the 20 years in 4-H, a long-term advocate and mentor for children and families has really been one of my specialties. I love the children, and I have been a blessing to live long. It has been a blessing to have lived long enough to see some real results of the work. And so the last 3 years, I mean, every time I look around, someone is telling me, well, you help do this and this for me, and I just do these things and forget about it. But they come back and say, thank you. And that really makes it all worthwhile. And I'm real grateful for that. And I have just have had a wonderful family support. In all the things I've done, I've gotten just about every kind of award that you can think of, which I never did it for the awards. I have over 50 awards, the highest being the Order of the Longleaf Pine, which is the highest citizens award for my work. I've also have the Congressional Award for the work I did in the community. And of course, I retired from the state of North Carolina in 2016. And so that was the year that I got those 2 major awards, which just sort of summarized the work that I've done on the job, in the community, through City Council and all the other services that I have provided, providing scholarship opportunities for young people and other people in this community to recognize some of the work that I did by giving monies for students to attend ECU in my honor. And both of those, 3 of those young ladies, 2 of them have received their master's degree that graduated through my scholarship that Friends of West Greenville gave, the Mildred Atkinson Council Leadership Scholarship. Those 2 women got their masters from East Carolina University, and today they are doing very well. They are giving back to the community. That was the intent of that scholarship, to give back. I had to mentor them for the time they were in college, and God just richly blessed these young women to be great leaders now in our society. And one is working on their PhD, and one also has given time to her country in the military. And so that's just so many blessings has occurred as the result of my just working hard and giving back to others.
So if you're listening today, we are talking about meeting the candidate, Mildred Atkinson Council, who is fired up, energized, ever going, never stopping, and has done so many great things. Congratulations to you, the great work that you've done. We really applaud you for all the great work, and you're not even done yet. You want to do even more. So we need you to get out and vote. Let's talk about the election day or early voting. Can you give us information what we need to do to make this happen for you?
Yes, well, I have come up with this little saying that says 8 is great. We want everybody that's listening out there to help me educate 8 about the work that I've already done. Also, get 8 to register to vote. Get 8 to the polls to vote on election day or early voting. Early voting starts April 19th and it ends on May 5th. And they will have about 5 or 6 early voting sites around Pitt County. that you can go, and we're encouraging everyone to vote early. And then if you miss that, we still have time on Election Day, which is May 8th. So those are the two different time settings, early voting or Election Day.
Right.
So we want you to get out and vote, and we do have a website where you can see some of the things that I've mentioned today. It was really hard trying to get it all on paper with what you've done, and I've never done that. I just like doing the work, you know, it doesn't matter. But my constituents told me that you need to tell what you've done at the state level. Well, I've been president of Women in Municipal Government. I've been president of the North Carolina Black Elected Municipal Officials, president of the Pitt County chapter of Shaw University Alumni Association. And that association brought Shaw University to Greenville 20 years ago. So we worked at that. President of the Eastern North Carolina Regional Association of Black Social Workers, which is having their 50th anniversary in the month of April 2018. And so, and our chapter here is 43 years of that history. I was one of its founders, along with Miss Ann Spate and the first president. And so we're excited that we have survived. We not only had a chapter here, we had chapters around the state of North Carolina and in South Carolina. So we feel really proud that we brought that organization here, because it certainly helped us to learn to serve our communities, and that's what we've done, and we've done it well.
Yes, you have.
Yes, and so, and I give a lot of saluting to that organization, because when I started my job in 1974 over at Caswell Center, you know, we didn't see people that looked like us that were running conferences and that were doing things in our community, but the black social workers, national black social workers, gave us those skills to be strong advocates in our community. So I took those things that they taught and put it into action. And so today I salute that organization, because that's really was one of those great organizations that helped me. And don't forget my alumni group. I love my alumni association, and they did too, because all of you need to give back to your schools and everything. So I always say, you know, once we get out of there, let us all give back. And we have a HBCU network in Greenville that has all of the HBCUs, and we're supporting them. We advocate for them. And so we're just doing a phenomenal work in our community, and it all happened with just being involved in the community. And so I'm excited and to run for this office, and I feel if I can just get to Raleigh, I can do a little bit more and to make our community a little bit stronger, because a lot has been given to it, and we don't want anyone to come and destroy the hard work that our ancestors and of all cultures have brought to our town. We want to continue to move forward, to be successful, to make sure that everyone in our state, in our community here in Pitt County, have a good quality of life, be it health, mentally, physically, all those things. We definitely need to make sure that that happens. And I know I'm the one that can help continue to push that forward.
Wonderful. If you have joined us today, we are meeting the candidate, Mildred Atkinson, Council. We thank you, Mildred, for coming on the program, for sharing your heart. It's such a passion.
Yes.
I feel it, and I know that the audience is feeling Mildred. We want you to call Mildred if you want to give support, 252-757-1037, or you may visit her website at MAC for North Carolina House 8.com. Mildred, you are an awesome woman, a family woman. You didn't mention your family, but we got about a few seconds. But you're a woman of faith and power, and a family woman, and a community. So we thank you for all your hard work. We want to encourage you to come and vote early voting, April 19th through May 5th. And then if you missed that, Election Day, Tuesday, May 8th, 2018. All right, from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. You have been listening to us meeting Mildred Atkinson, Council for candidate for House, North Carolina, House 8, excuse me. Thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Mildred, best to you.